Right now, we're going to go straight into our plenary session, looking into the future. Our first speaker is going to share with us on West Kowloon Cultural District, Hong Kong as a center for international cultural exchange, and the role of West Kowloon Cultural District. Please welcome on stage Mrs. Patty Fong, Chief Executive Officer of West Kowloon Cultural District Authority, to share with us. Mrs. Fong, please.
Stephen, panel speakers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, Stephen, thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce to our participants today the West Kowloon Cultural District project. I will first start with an overview of the development of the project, and then because this is an investment promotion seminar, I will focus a little bit on the commercial and business opportunity offered by the West Kowloon project, which I seldom do because I always talk about arts and culture, because this is a good opportunity for me to talk about commercial. And for this reason, I also invited my Deputy CEO, Wendy Gan, to join us. She is responsible for property development, leasing, F&B, everything. So if you are interested in knowing more after my presentation, do talk to Wendy. She's the person here. So without further ado, let me focus on the project itself. For our overseas participants, you may heard about the West Kowloon Cultural District project. In fact, it was first put forward just after Hong Kong's return to the motherland in 1998. Our first chief executive, Mr. Tung Chee Hwa, mentioned this West Kowloon Cultural District concept in his 1998 policy address. So today we have another policy address coming up in 2 hours' time. So that was 24 years ago. And at that time, Hong Kong was largely international financial center, logistics center, professional services. Nobody have ever thought Hong Kong can become a cultural hub. The most often description is Hong Kong was a cultural desert. So this term has lingered on for many years, but I hope today my presentation will give you a fresh dimension into Hong Kong's potential. So this was actually a very visionary project. When Mr. Tung put forward the idea, he said that he will allocate the 40-hectare site at the Victoria Harbour front and change the land use from residential development to culture, arts and culture. So, and after around a decade of debates over how to deliver this project, at first we talk about private sector financing, single tender, et cetera, And in 2008, the government finally decided to set up a statutory body, the West Kowloon Cultural District Authority, to develop and operate this project, and allocated 21.6 billion Hong Kong dollars as an one-off upfront endowment to the authority to deliver this project. And I can say hands on heart that the West Kowloon Cultural District is very unique around the world, because this is the place where you can see the best of the Western and Eastern cultures, contemporary and traditional, different art form. And together it is also a very integrated cultural district, providing not just arts and culture programs, but also a very interesting suite of RDE, retail dining and entertainment offerings, and also hotel, office, and residential. And also we have to deliver statutory requirement to deliver 23 hectares of public open space on our 40-hectare site. So this is the development plan. The development plan was guided by the design concept, which is Foster and Partners City Park design concept. It was chosen by the authority after 3 stages of public engagement from 2009 to 2011. Very comprehensive consultation with the community. The key features of this city park concept is green. That's why we have to have large lawns in the district, lots of trees. It is very free. We manage the park under our own bylaws. So relatively, you can see a lot more things happen in our park than in other public open space managed by the government authorities. So pets friendly, and you can ride a bike or play your big ball games, etc. And indeed, the guided concept is a very walkable and sustainable district. We have only one major road at the moment. It's the Museum Drive, leading from the Austin Road West to the western part of the district. And we are actually building a very large basement, integrated basement, with an underground road. It's a real public road from the eastern part of the district, Canton Road, City Center, to M+. So we are opening it gradually, phase by phase. And in future, all the vehicular traffic underground, we go underground. At grade, people can walk very free, and they can enjoy the F&B offering at our central spine of the district called the Avenue. And in this diagram, you will see I have set out the GFA. We have to deliver 851,000 square meter, around 9 million square feet in the district, comprising around 40% is arts and cultural facilities, and 16% RDE, and 42% is hotel, office, and residential. And on top of that, 23 hectares of public open space. So in the development plan, which was approved by the Executive Council in 2013, we have proposed that there will be around 17 arts and cultural facilities. Right now, we have completed those in pink, and also, in addition, actually, the Hong Kong Palace Museum is completed and open, and only the Lyric Theatre Complex is under construction. There are 4 blue buildings. You always ask, well, where are they? So we are waiting for funding availability, because the 21.6 billion given to us was sufficient to build and operate only the first and the second batches. So if the funding is available, we really hope that we can construct the music center as soon as possible. And the white building at the backs are the commercial portfolio of the district, divided into Zone 2A, 2B, 3B, and 4. So we will be tendering out these packages in phases. So this is the completed facilities, and together with the Lyric Theatre Complex. 2 performing arts venues, the CG Center Free Space, 2 museums, M+, and Hong Kong Palace Museum. So for M+, I'm not sure whether you have visitors. If not, then you can grab the last opportunity of our free admission until the 11th of November. Starting on the 12th, we will have to charge, because we are self-financing. We really need the admission income. So this is a position of the M+ is Asia's first global museum of contemporary visual culture. So focusing on the 20th and the 21st century visual arts, design and architecture, and moving images and Hong Kong visual culture. It is a very large museum. You notice from this picture that it is actually like an inverted T shape. For the museum's galleries, they are located on a horizontal slab, very huge, 33 galleries, about the size of Tate Modern in London. And the whole building is 65,000 square meter. So the vertical part is basically our offices, research center, and on the top 5 floors are offices for rent to the private sector, RDE, and also educational facilities. So there are also cinemas, restaurants, and shops. But we opened last November, but because of the COVID, we have to close for 3.5 months earlier this year. And now we already have over 1.8 million, well, mostly Hong Kong people. We don't have tourists yet. So it's a very impressive record. And this year, this July, we opened the Palace, Hong Kong Palace Museum. It is a collaboration project between the Palace Museum in Beijing and West Kowloon. This is a very unusual decision of the CPG, central government, to allow 914 treasures from the Palace Museum to be shown outside mainland China. And 166 of them are Grade 1 objects. I hope you have the chance to visit us. If not, you can come. The October month is slightly less busy, because July to September, all tickets were sold out within days. So this museum is designed by Rocco, a local architect, and is half the size of the museum, the M+ Museum. 3 months into our opening, we have already received over 440,000 visitors, and we have strong support from the community joining us as members. An upcoming exhibition, very exciting, is in November, second week, we will open 2 special exhibitions. The first one is in M+. Also, our first special exhibition in M+ is the Kusama, 1945 to now. She's famous for her polka dots, pumpkins. So this is going to be the largest retrospective of the artists in Asia outside Japan, starting from the 12th of November. And we're very happy that we have received very strong support from the private sector, with HSBC being our lead sponsor. And in fact, HSBC was starting from 1st of November, become the lead partner of M+, supporting a wide range of educational activities. And apart from the special exhibition, we also have our first hybrid of digital and physical art display, the Beeple, is Human One, that was auctioned last year in Christie, fetching $29 million. It's going to be displayed in M+, starting from December. And for the Palace Museum, we will also have a special exhibition in collaboration with the Prince's Collection of Liechtenstein. It's fully sponsored by LGT. Again, very grateful to this kind of corporate support. Without corporate support, we won't be able to showcase the treasures of other major museums and also palaces. It's a dialogue between Palace Museum and the Liechtenstein Palace. So we also do rotation of our Palace Museum exhibits. For performing arts, well, seems to be less talk about because the two museums are very popular, but they are doing equally well. For Sichi Center, this is a venue dedicated to the preservation, promotion, and transmission of Chinese opera, especially Cantonese opera. And we have a space, a grand theater, 1,075 seats. And we have Tea House Theater showing an excerpt, 90 minutes of excerpts of the longer version of the usually 3 to 4 hours Cantonese opera. But the 90 minutes would be very good for newcomers, have a taste of this kind of traditional art form. Free space is dedicated to contemporary art, experiential art, dance, jazz. We will have the Jazz Fest, Free Space Jazz Fest by the end of this month. Very welcome to join the very festival atmosphere in the art park and also in indoor venues. And the coming up one is being built as the Lyric Theatre Complex. This is a working title. We are going to change the name. Asia's Dance and Theatre Hub with a 1,450-seat lyric theatre, a medium theatre of 600 seats, and a smaller studio of 270 seats. It is good for, of course, the arts and cultural performance, but also for film premiere, for major award ceremonies, for your corporate events. So very high quality facilities, as also supported by more F&B, because we now pay a lot of attention to F&B dining experience before and after concerts and also musical performances. Two major festivals, because I know Art Tech is one of the highlights in this investment promotion week. So I also want to let you know that West Kowloon also launched our first Art Tech Festival this year, called Creative Tomorrow, sponsored by Hong Kong Jockey Club, where we inject an art tech element into traditional art form with a robot in a Cantonese opera performance. We also have a outdoor display next year as our first recreation of the Northern Lights in Hong Kong. So February next year will be this Borealis by a Swiss artist. And West K Pop Festival will be our first attempt to create a pop festival for Hong Kong and in Hong Kong. So we will showcase only not just new artists, but also the homegrown names will be performing at our festival. So now, and let me turn to the commercial part. Very glad to tell you that all of you can actually take part in the West Kowloon Cultural District project in different roles. For developers, you can consider to bid for our PPP, the public-private partnership packages under the build, operate, and transfer model. Hotel operators, because we will have hotel in the district. For office tenants, rowdy tenants, this is a very exciting location, new location for Hong Kong. We try to position West Kowloon's offices properties as a new cultural CBD at the heart of Hong Kong. And also, of course, as corporate sponsors. So for the new cultural CBD, I just now talk about how much we have as in terms of GFA. For hotel, office, residential is 366,000 square meter. And for RD GFA is 138,000 square meters. So they will be, the RD GFA will be embedded in the HOR development. And one of the things that we always tell our potential investors or venue hirers is that we have superb connectivity, both rail, road, and in future sea. In terms of rail, we are served by 4 MTR lines. Of course, the Airport Express going to CC's building, the Hong Kong International Airport, in 22 minutes, and to Shenzhen, 15 minutes, around 15 minutes through the high-speed rail. To Guangzhou South Station, 48 minutes. So because we are just located at the doorstep of the XRL, the high-speed rail. And also the connectivity in terms of pedestrian walking has already been greatly improved with the opening of the Artist Square Bridge linking the M Plus to the Kowloon Station, and also the Austin Station subway linking to the Siqi Center. And we are also planning to have a new exit road to provide ingress and egress to the western part of the district, because right now we still have to rely on the Museum Drive. And in 2025, we will have our first pier, the self-learning step. Money has been allocated by the government and approved by the LegCo. So that will be able to have water taxi, more frequent water taxi services, linking Kai Tak, linking Kowloon, Tsim Sha Tsui area in Central to West Kowloon. And so that's why we said that this is a very strategic location to be a cultural CBD. So even though we haven't tendered all the cultural properties, we already have our WKCDA Tower where house our headquarters. We have got 2 anchor tenants. One is Philips Auction House. Very happy to have Philips to be our neighbor. They have expanded their Asian headquarters by leasing 6 floors in the WKCDA Tower of 48,000 square feet, and also they will have their permanent purpose-built auction places there. And I must emphasize that all the tenants, whether it's F&B or office tenant, they are part of the WKCD family. We look for synergy with them, look for collaboration opportunities with them to promote arts and culture. And the Artist Square Tower, which is close to M+, is now being tendered. It provides 65,000 square meter of GFA, office and RDE, and the tender will be closed next month. And again, this enjoys superb connectivity. And I talk about the hospitality and RDE experience. And venue hiring, I strongly encourage you to consider West Kowloon, if you have to organize corporate events or your own company events, because it is really spectacular and very unique in Hong Kong. Think about in US or Europe, sometimes you attend gala dinner, banquets in a museum. We are able to do that now in Hong Kong. So these are the outdoor spaces. Some examples are shown here for community events. For corporate events, especially what you want to provide very unique experience to your VIP clients. These are the people who already use our venues for their corporate events. We just launched additional new harbourfront outdoor venues. There are altogether 17 of them, spreading out in the art park, with the newest one at the Siqi Center, close to the Siqi Center, called the Cultural Plaza. And the first major events to be hosted there is the On Voyage with Claude Monet. It's a digital arts exhibition opening end of this month. So very happy to be here for 2 months. And for indoor venues, right now, just now I talk about the museums, and we have bigger venues for conferences, like the Hong Kong Palace Museum Auditorium, 400 seats, or the Grand Stair in M+, over 500 seats, and also venues for banquet, like the atriums, and also the forum. Very, very, very nice environment, has a full sea view, harbourfront view. And also for the free space, it's also a place for product launch, like Tesla, Lamborghini, they have done their product launch here. And finally, I know I'm running out of time, so I just want to touch upon cultural tourism. I must say that the West Kowloon Cultural District has been very hard hit by the pandemic. we have to close our performing arts venue for over 330 days in the past 2 years. And M Plus just opened for 1.5 months, closed for 3.5 months. So we really need to have stable policies with regard to closure, no more closure of venues. But at the same time, we also need tourists. Our M Plus and Hong Kong Palace Museum can receive over 4 million people, visitors a year. So apart from, well, very welcome Hong Kong residents to visit us, we also need tourists. So working very hard with Dane, Tourism Board, we really hope to relaunch Hong Kong with these new offerings, because I don't think many tourists have the chance to come to West Kowloon, because our first performing arts venue was opened in 2019, just after the social unrest period. So we become, hope to become the must-see destination for our overseas and mainland tourists, and also your business partner. And so we are very glad to have a new bureau, Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau. We are now, the three of us together, 3 speakers, are now working under one bureau purview to promote Hong Kong. So I think I should stop here, because otherwise I'm taking up time of the other 2 speakers. So very much welcome your questions during our Q&A session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Fong. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you. Definitely make time to visit the West Kowloon Cultural District. You're going to enjoy that a lot, I'm sure.